Hello, I am doing an unboxing of the Mars 5 Ultra resin printer. So this came delivered by our friendly Bezos companion. Let me grab something here. So I have already a Saturn 8K and a Mars Pro resin printer. I have a couple FTM printers too. I decided to go with this one because it's a built-in camera. I like the design on the display, and the size is what I'm looking for to do smaller stuff. For larger stuff, I have the Saturn 8K over there. I can do huge things there. I'll try to do some smaller stuff with better 9K quality. So let me. This one has a 7-inch mono LCD. It's a 9K resolution display, 18 XY resolution, which is much better than the 8K have. It has the cob light source, so hopefully this comes to make things come out a lot better. I don't buy any printer now without auto loving, and the camera also has AI camera control, so it can see when your print is coming off the platform. The downside is the camera's in one place. So if you have a model right here and it's looking at it, you can only see one side of the model. So it's coming up off on the other side. There you go. It's better than nothing. Okay, how about that? I also like that it's Wi-Fi. So I'm constantly having to go to my Saturn and plug in USBs, the wrong one, or something else. This one build value is 153 or by 77 by 165. Prints at 150 millimeter per hour. Yeah, the glass is 9H high-end tempered glass. So it's really, really tough. And there it is. Okay. And I like that it comes with Cheetah Box Pro. I don't want to buy Cheetah Box. I have a bunch of them, but I don't want to buy Cheetah Box for that. And let's make sure you guys can see me. All right. When I bought this off of Amazon, I told them I wanted the Amazon boxing because those that have bought things like this on Amazon know their drivers have a tendency to just drop things like this off. Even if your door's open, even if you're sitting at the door, they walk over, they sneak on the ground, they take a picture and run away. In this case, leaving an expensive 3D printer in front of your apartment for neighbors to come pick up. I have actually lost a PC I purchased on Amazon. It was a gaming PC, got delivered, and then the driver, even though my front gate was open, didn't bother to knock, push the Ring doorbell, yell inside, nothing. They simply dropped it off and walked away. And I didn't know it was there, and I walked away. One of my neighbors 500 it. I had a Ring doorbell, so I saw them, but asked Amazon. Amazon said, well, only sometimes our drivers knock. I said, if your person's there, why don't they knock all the time? But they don't. So it looks to be packed actually really well. So you got the Mars 5 Ultra user manual. And something on that side here. Okay, this is the tray when you're pouring filament. There's a spot where you can accidentally pour it into the machine. This goes in and kind of keeps you from doing that. So, don't lose that. Comes with a box of the power plug, the power lights. Power plug is it. I'm gonna hang on to that too. Let me fix something here. Okay. So here's the printer. That's actually a pretty big one. I thought it was smaller than this. If you've seen my other videos, what you see printing over there, the red thing, is printing on a Creality K1 Max. And before I toss this box here, there's nothing in there. Nope. it's actually pretty put together. The good thing I like about the Elegoos, in the case of resin printers, is that they pretty much, everything's contained. You don't spend 3 hours putting things together. Pretty much you just take everything out of the foam, plug it in, and there you go. Now, one warning that happened with these. Normally, FDM printers, you get a thing of a spool of material, PLA. Sometimes a full one, sometimes a smaller one. In the case of resin ones, I don't think I've seen one ever have resin. I like the green one, which is the Mars 5. That's clear see-through. But I really like this black. I wish it had the Mars 4, Saturn 4, had a lifting lid, where the lid itself was part of the actual printer. Rather than coming off, it would just lift up. It'll be fine. So there's numerous pieces that we're still waiting for, so I'm assuming they're typically inside the lid. Oh, these are really packed. They wanted to make sure this thing came secure. Which I like. I mean, I have in the past, I'm not going to name names, I had companies send printers that were put together by a 9-year-old. Basically, throw things in a box, put a couple of things, pieces of foam in there, and not worry about it. Now I can see inside. This has lots of stuff inside. So I'm gonna lift this up and off. And this comes off. And the tower. So it has a good piece here. I recently moved, and I wish I had saved the foam, not the wrapping and all that, but the foam pieces. So I could move these things easily. I didn't, so this time I'm going to keep those foam pieces. It has a toolkit. Oh, it has the antenna for the Wi-Fi. It has some rubber gloves. I bought 10 boxes of these. They're using it a lot. The Allen wrenches. It looks like some additional screws, just in case. The power converter. The Cheeto box license, some filters, a USB key, a plastic scraper, that's good, A quality metal scraper. This is not just a throwaway scraper. Sometimes you find, especially the resin printers, sometimes they provide you a really um, non-expensive, non-useful scrapers. So these are nice. And your masks. I definitely suggest, regardless of what comes in the box, yeah, should definitely use more expensive ones. The fumes that come off of these resin, for example, I have the Elegoo water washable ceramic gray. Even though the water washable is better for the environment, it's still toxic. And the plant-based one is still the same thing. It's also toxic. It's better for the environment if the liquid gets in the drain, for example. But be responsible. There's always places that'll take these liquids. Here's the plate. Now I'm going to show you the difference in this plate versus the Saturn 8K, which is the really large plate, besides the way it connects, and I'll show you how it connects here. Now the previous way, Elgeoo used to do this, is here is the Elegoo Saturn 8K. It has a little string piece here that locks in place. It goes into here. New one, you can see the difference in size. It's a quarter smaller, but the locking mechanism, rather than the screw, basically it goes in and locks right down. So you don't have to fidget with the knob. Especially when you're playing with the print itself and you have stuff in your hands. So also, on this 8K, it has a clear, smooth plate. Let me fool you, that's going to hold a lot of stuff. This one has an etched one. Let me see if you can see that up here. This camera over here is a little better. Let me back up here. There you go. Of course, lovely when your headset dies. Again, all these pieces are worth saving. So when you do move or you go move something, it's easier to just simply put those back in so you don't lose or crack anything inside. So, the back over here is the camera. We got a better view when we turn around. And the vat inside, like other vats, hold in using little thumb screws. Oh, these are deep thumb screws. And I like that the film, if I can go over here, is clear. So it less issue with the light going into it. Okay, last piece. Okay, let me move this around so you can see it. Now let me tilt that down a little bit now. And like I said, right here is the camera, which has a little lens cover. Oh, you can adjust the camera. Now on the LED plate itself, LCD, right? It has this film with a red sticker. This is step 1. Please peel off this for printing. Those who are not familiar with resin printers, basically inside is the light source. The vat sits on top, and the light comes from underneath and lights up whatever it's trying to harden. As the plate lifts out of the liquid, slowly, 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 until it gets high enough that it starts building the part. I'm doing this backwards. I want to see. Yep, it has a catch. So unlike the other printers I have, it's hard to tell sometimes whether the vat is sitting on the actual device. So this one kind of literally plops in. I see something. So I don't even see it, but this plate kind of sinks down. That's why it has that drip tray. So when you're pouring, you're less likely to get in the hole on there. These thumb screws just tighten up. Now, the reason why I wanted this printer is my other printers, this vat just sits flat. And then that way, every time, well, every time this wants to peel off the plate here, it's pulling all force. In this case, the vat itself is tilting back and forth, so it puts less strain on it, so less like you're going to puncture your film on here inside the vat, less likely you're gonna get resin inside your printer itself. I was also gonna show this. I mentioned the other one has a screw. You go in and you find a place and you screw it on. And when you're trying to unscrew the plate to remove it, get a part off, the screw becomes difficult sometimes with one hand, trying to make sure the print doesn't fall. So this just basically sits in there and just opens, unlocks and locks. Now I notice when I lock it, it's pretty secure. Wow. The other thing you see is the lead screw here. It's pretty hefty. I've seen a couple that haven't been, so over time it'll kind of warp. Yeah, that's pretty secure. Yeah, that looks good. Let's grab all these. Untie these twisties. You gotta be smarter than the twisty. Okay. Got this one. Now, of course, those that have printers, especially FDM printers, and know it's always good to look and make sure there's not a 220 110 switch for Europe versus US. There's not on this one. It's good. Okay. And it's nice is the on-off switch, the connection for the key, USB key, the Wi-Fi are on the side. I can't stand either resin or FDM printers that put everything on the back. Because normally when you put these things together, there's almost never able to reach the USB portion. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. But I guess this has Wi-Fi. Not huge. But again, not sure why not. It doesn't have a built-in Wi-Fi. It's like not in the machine, rather than having an outside ear to screw on. Okay. Now decide how can I reach one of my power plugs over here. Have one here in reach. This apartment, how old it is probably 50s. Was not made with a lot of power plugs. So I've only got 2 in this room next to each other. So turn this around here. I'm going to do as I'm going to move this camera. Here. So one thing you did not see, and I'll do it again, is it turns on. It does a post. Basically checking all the settings, making sure all the parts work, which I've been praying for a long time, because often this is not see status LCD screen connection. Then it's going to check the accesses, the LED light source. It calibrates. It checks the size of the fan, the LED temperature detection, the mechanical sensor. This is really good that it's doing all these things, because half the time you spend trying to fix a printer, you don't really know what's missing. There you go. There you go. Okay. So let's see the touch settings. It's pretty responsive. Compared to other ones I've seen, you touch it and it doesn't know anything. You touch and touch and touch and it works. Version upgrades, service, tools, which is probably up and down, settings, device info. It tells you which model it is, what the version is. Print mode, high speed, low speed. Okay. I'm gonna set the Wi-Fi here. Bear with me a moment here. Your FFA 5 has the loggy touchscreen. You know, I found that the Mars Pro, for all the things it has, was a good machine, but the touchscreen I spent all the time trying to fix and play with, and the screen wasn't terribly responsive. I thought it was maybe just my machine, until I spoke to people and they said the same thing. Bear with me a moment while I got my Wi-Fi stuff. Actually, I'm thinking this is a really small screen. Why they made it landscape? It makes the letters really small. But if this is the only time I'll need to put in named or what have you, not a big thing. Ah. Okay, connected to my Wi-Fi just fine. Green arrow. Oh, network upgrade. New version detected. Upgrade. This is good, because one thing I hate about these, when you have to actually update the firmware by USB key. While I'm right here, I might as well show you this. we talked about the drip tray. It goes right here. And the idea is, so when you're pouring resin, you're pouring resin. If you miss a little, it'll go in the tray. Versus going in a hole in here. There's a spot where the resin can seep in. Now, in the case of my other printers, they were kind of closed off. Because this tray actually moves back and forth, it has to be able to sink a little. There is a space. Okay, rebooting. What I like is these screws keep this in place, because this has to be able to drop right in the middle. It's really tight. Okay. Off, on. It's basically installing the BIOS, if you will. Any computer people out there. Doing a system update. Okay. Little loading screen here. Yeah. Language. Wow. China, English, Portuguese, Japanese, Spanish, Russian, Turkish, Dutch, or German, sorry, Italian, Netherlands, French, everything other than the language I need. So, has British English, not American English. Oh, let's hope that's the same. Confirm. Here I did the network connection. Let's give it a name. Yeah, so it's like this did not have Wi-Fi. This would be a little annoying because how small these letters are. I'm assuming you want to do this again, so. Yep. Will not let me spell my name right. Okay. So it's doing another self-test. You see the vat moving. So the way it, not up and down, but like it tilts. So when we work with your nail, you have to actually do the fleshy part of your finger. Type address, good. The temperature, because there's no bed, if you will, there's only one temperature. It's got Wi-Fi signal. Let's see what it comes with. Local files or USB. Has history. Manual up and down. Screen is exposure. Tank cleaning. Emergency stop. Resin calibration. Device self-test. So this has the ability, if you're doing 4 different models, it cuts the entire thing into 4 zones. And each zone can have a different different calibration. Form partitioned exposure test. So each one can have a different exposure. Cool. All right. Well, I will start printing something and see how it comes out. And move you back here. Sorry. Kind of flying in the air with me. That's pretty much the whole unboxing. All right, thank you, Stephen.